Like it's happening. Like people are just like they run out of money and they're like, okay, I can win it all back if I just sell the car.
Right.
And it's
and
like
then the car's gone.
Yeah.
Here's what's interesting though: if you win, they ban you. Like my friend
Right.
Dana.
Like how is that
If you
legal?
lose,
My
they
friend
give
Dana
you a ride
White.
home.
Dana White is a notorious gambler, but he wins millions of dollars sometimes. He's
Whoa.
won. I think he said he lost as much as $1 million, and he's won as much as $7 million in a night.
Holy shit. Has he
Yeah.
gotten banned from places?
Yes.
He couldn't. Really?
Yes.
Dana,
yes.
but he's a celebrity.
Dude,
That's so
not
weird.
only does he get banned, but he gets banned and then he pulls the UFC out of them. Like they used to do UFC at the Palms, and he killed the Palms, and the Palms banned him. So he's like, "Fuck you!
I'll ban you."
We're gonna move to the Hard Rock or wherever the hell they moved to next." But yeah, they've banned him from a bunch of casinos because he's really good at blackjack.
Wow. Can you? What stakes is it? What's the minimum bet for the Dana White blackjack?
I wish I knew.
That sounds fucking crazy.
How is that legal to ban someone once they win at the thing you're saying?
Because I'm saying these casinos
You're
are
too
not
good.
fully legal. They're like in this weird area.
They reserve the right to ban you if you kick their ass, which is crazy.
Can they say you're card counting or something?
You're not card counting. I mean, even if you are, it doesn't matter. It's legal. I mean, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I think it's as long as it's on your head. If you're not using a calculator or something.
It's technically within the rules of the game because
Yeah.
your job is to sit down and, I guess, card counting. But
What
blackjack,
does that
they have
mean,
a.
though? I mean, you're supposed to not know. Like, if you say
Right.
if you have knowledge, you're supposed to ignore it.
Right,
I mean,
if you know how to count cards.
That's so stupid. It's
What
like a
could
girl
you
going
do?
to a bar and watching a guy roofie her drink. Oh, can't pay attention to that. It's not the rules. Like, you know what the fucking rules are, right? The rules are, like, if you know how many decks they're using and you know
Right. What
you know,
cards go
when
in
to
that
hit
deck.
and when not to hit, and just play it smart and count and think and calculate. It's
I
a
didn't
bad
know it was
example
like
with
that. Also,
The
what
roofie.
drives?
Bad
Why does
example.
Dana
It
White?
was a reach, right?
Why does Dana the rupee thing? We all accepted it.
Sort of.
It's your house. We were like, Joe, you got
Yeah,
that.
but I was like, it's probably not good.
Why does Dana White gamble?
I have no idea.
Or who's the famous basketball player that Charles Barkley? What drives those people? They're so rich. Why?
Thrills.
What
Oh,
is-
yeah.
what
Also, people that have been hit in the head a lot. Dana's been hit in the head a lot. Notoriously impulsive and notoriously susceptible to addiction, whether it's gambling addiction, alcohol
Really?
addiction. Yeah, it's a big part of CTE,
With
chronic traumatic encephalopathy, which you see. I think I said it right. That's brain damage from getting hit in the head. A big part of it.
Is he a fighter or something?
He did a lot of boxing when he was young. He's been,
Whoa.
has dome rattled a
Yeah,
gang of times.
got that dome rattled.
You're not supposed to get punched in the head ever, right? You're definitely not supposed
Right.
to get punched in the head multiple times a day for
For
years.
work.
What about
Yeah.
you train, right?
No, I don't do any kickboxing sparring
At
anymore,
all?
though. No.
Because of that.
Yeah, and even in jiu-jitsu, you like slam into someone's knee accidentally or head. You get your head bonked, your dome
Yeah.
wrapped. But it's not that common. But when I was kickboxing, boy, I got hit in the head a lot. To the point where I just like sometimes I think about some of the decisions I've made. I'm like, what's going on in there? Like, what screws are loose?
It's even with headgear. You're saying you're
Oh,
still.
it's worse. Headgear's worse.
Interesting.
I
Because
don't watch a lot.
headgear, it actually makes an artificial lever. Like, say if your head is this large, it means if you clip it here, it's got more of a fulcrum effect. Whereas if your head is smaller and compact, and you just take it here,
So Richard Nixon mask would be bad because he had a
Yeah.
big old chin. Knock him
depends
loose
on
a
how
little bit.
thick the rubber is in the mask. But the idea is not necessarily just the initial impact; it's how much your head moves. Like how much, like the stronger your neck is, the less likely you are to get brain damage. So these guys do a lot of neck exercises just to keep their head stable when it gets hit. The idea is like the more your head moves, the more your brain's going to swoosh around inside your dome and break off the connective tissue. That's also part of the problem is connective tissue, this like really soft, almost like cotton candy-like tissue that connects your brain to the skull. That stuff gets ripped up.
Would you rather be a NFL, whatever the guy that linebacker? Is that what it is?
Sure.
Or like long-term prize fighter?
Long-term prize fighter for sure.
Really?
'Cause long-term prize fighters can get through it. Like there's guys like Bernard Hopkins that fought into his 50s, who speaks well, know. And there's see the problem is even guys that speak well, there's the weird shit that they do, the impulsive stuff. They're like if you talk to people that are CTE experts, they tell you some really disturbing things about brain damage, about how it manifests itself, and the weird things that men find themselves doing. They don't even know why they're doing it; they're just doing it. And like real impulsive behavior and just stomping on the gas on the highway and just like weird gambling stuff and sex stuff and drug stuff, and a lot of it is connected to CTE.
What if you looked over and Natasha was crying, looking at me?
No, I just when I see Moshe.
You do all of those.
When I
those
see Moshe
things.
watching, is it MMA, like where they're like doing 69 and just writhing?
How are they doing it? They're writhing?
You're like,
Yeah, it's like they're just like one's got the head in his dick, and then the other one's got his
That's
head
what
in
they
his
call it.
dick, and they
Yeah.
just kind of like writhe back and forth.
You
And
know,
then there's
Joe is like one of the main commentator for the
No,
for
I
the
know.
UFC.
I still don't understand
And that's what you
it.
say, right? He's got his head in his dick, and they're writhing, folks.
Sometimes I have said things along those lines.
I
It's
listen.
an odd sport. You have to understand. From a woman who's like not into sports and then sees that, it's like I don't understand it.
She comes in and she says, always, derisively, did your team win? I'm like, there are no teams. You
You do
know
it on
there are
purpose?
teams.
You do it
Yes.
on
Oh
purpose?
yeah. I mean, I'm just
There you go.
yeah. And they're barefoot, like they
Everyone's
maybe
defense,
have been
that's
fucking.
the video game. That's the video game.
Yeah, the video game lets you get a little gayer than the
Yeah,
actual
the video
sport
game
does.
lets you
Oh wait,
actually
yeah, that
fuck
one. That's
them.
a good one.
You can actually fuck a guy.
Those
in
are
a video
women,
game.
though,
Yeah,
aren't they?
That's a great game.
Could be. No, that looks like a dude.
It seems-
That's a dude caught in a triangle.
So it's people who don't care about brain damage though. Like,
But
it just
this
seems-
sport, you get this sport brings.
Why is that funny? Like, don't you think that's important?
Yeah,
They
it's
don't
not
care
that
about
they
the
don't
cartilage
care.
that connects their head to
It's
their
not cartilage. It's
or the
connective tissue.
connective
It's soft.
tissue.
It's not that it's not that they don't care. It's just that this is something that they started doing when they were young. They got really good at it, and they see it as a path to make a career. And they like thrills. They like doing things dangerous and exciting. Some of them just accept the risks, and some of them say, "I would rather live a dangerous life that's exciting than a really fucking boring life."
I can respect that.
Sitting on the couch, atrophying.
I can respect that. I mean, of course.
This is funny though. This is like going to like on Da Vinci's podcast and being like, I don't know about this art stuff. I don't know
mean,
about this.
Joe can take it. I'm
No,
just
I think you're
saying
right. No, you're right.
What my perspective is when I see it. But now when you put it like that too, it's like what's the alternative? Get a job in a factory or get a job.
We all die. I mean, this is temporary. This is not going to last, right? So for them, it's like, how am I going to use my meat vehicle?
Yeah.
And am I going to use it for fun and just go crazy? And I mean, that's the thought process behind it. Is like, yep, I know I'm doing damage to it, and I know a lot of guys that I've known when they were in their prime, where they were just killing everybody, and now they are broken.
That's
They're
crazy.
broken. Like I know guys who can't even brush their teeth.
Really?
Their shoulders are so
Really?
shot. They have to like brush their teeth left-handed, and they suck at it, and they
crazy.
gotta fucking move their head
And how old are they?
in their 30s.
What?
Yeah.
There is something about the human animal that wants. It's an interesting facet of humanity that wants to achieve greatness, for some reason.
Well, the glory of winning in that too is also directly related to the danger of doing it. It's like there's something dangerous about it that makes it super exciting if you pull it off. It's winning a fight it's a crazy feeling.
It's even more
Because
than
you're making all these other people happy too. Because people have like voted on, how do you do it? You vote on them.
Root
Bet
for
on
You
them?
root for you, whatever.
Oh,
Like you bet on them. But people, I mean, it's like it's so many people. Just I've noticed so many people their mood is changed if their team wins. So it's like
Oh, that's the problem with
Sure.
MMA, though. When Chuck Liddell started losing is when I realized, like, MMA is not a good sport for, like, having to have your guy win. Because
Right.
eventually your guy will always lose.
oh really?
Always, because they'll get older. That's, like, just the inevitable reality.
As
of-
opposed to a team
a
that
team-
swaps people
a te-
out.
Exactly. The
Keeps
team
it young
is
and
dynamic,
good.
so your team can always be a winner. But if you root for one fighter, that fighter will get old, and the young people will come in, and
And
the
by
fighter.
old, it's like 38.
Yeah.
No, that's way old.
Oh really?
38 is way old.
So like 32 or something.
Especially now with drug testing.